Has the Yakima market finally shifted, or are we just seeing a seasonal slowdown disguised as change? Let's look at the numbers because October told a very different story than most people expected. Hey, it's Corie, your Yakima real estate strategist, here with your October 2025 market update. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, or just keeping an eye on your home value, this one's for you. Now, before we get into the numbers, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment with the city or neighborhood you're watching. It genuinely helps the channel reach more Yakima locals who want this kind of straight to the point info. Now, I want to give you a quick national snapshot first because it really sets the tone down at the local level. Buyer confidence is still being tugged back and forth by rates. Inventory is still creeping up in many markets, but still far from pre-2020 levels. Price growth is cooling in some metros and sticking in others, and most economists agree 2026 will not be a crash year. It'll be a rebalancing year. Rates have been hovering at the higher end of the sevens, and while there are whispers of cuts next year, the Fed is still more concerned with inflation than affordability at the moment. We did hit 3-year rate lows just the other day, so that was really good. That gave consumers some confidence, but it may have been short-lived. Right now, consumer confidence is at an all-time low, and I know as not only a consumer, but as a market professional in many different industries, that when people are uncomfortable, they don't make decisions. So I would expect people to stay tentative for the foreseeable future. Okay, so Yakima, let's break down October. The absorption rate is up to 3.88 months of inventory from 3.78 last month and up 12.79% from last October. Active listings were at 599 homes on the market, which is a 26.1% year-over-year increase. Sold listings, we sold 175 homes last month, which is up almost 7% year-over-year. Our median sold price is $365,000, which is actually down 2.6%. but up slightly month over month. Average days on market is 78 days. That's the average, not the median. The median's a little bit lower. It's slower than last year, but right now we're starting to get aligned with what we would consider a normal fall market. So more homes, slightly slower movement, and prices flattening instead of falling. Not a bad thing. So let's talk pricing trends because this is where the headlines are really getting it wrong right now. Median sold price year over year is down from $374,975 to $365,000. The average sold price year over year is basically flat, $398,924 to $397,000. So this tells us sellers aren't slashing prices, but buyers do have more negotiating room than they did 90 days ago. And if you're not priced well, it's gonna sit. Also, active listings jumped from 475 last year at this time to 599. That's a 26.1% increase. So that means buyers have more choices. They're comparing your home against a lot more others than they have been the last few years. We're under 4 months of available inventory, which is the absorption rate stat I shared with you, 3.88 months of inventory. It's still technically a seller leaning market, but we're really right at the cusp of a balanced market there. 4, I would consider a balanced market. It's not a competitive frenzy. It's a little more chill. And that's why pricing and presentation are everything right now, because buyers have options again. Our sold homes are up 6.7% year over year, so we're selling more homes in October of this year versus October of last year. And our pending homes are up 12.2%, which means our solds for next month are anticipated to increase as well. And our median days on market is 64, which is up from 56 last year. So I talked about the average being 78, but the median is 64. Again, listings are selling, just not instantly. So I want to talk a little bit about what all of this data means for buyers. It means more choices, less pressure. Sellers are more open to repairs or credits than they have been the last few years, and rate buy downs and concessions are back on the table. Lately, I've been able to negotiate a lot more closing costs into transactions and a lot more repairs than I have been the last few years. You can actually take some time to think about whether or not you're going to write an offer, how you're going to structure your offer after seeing a home. Past few years, you had to make a decision relatively quickly. Now you can take a few days, just let the listing agent know you're considering writing an offer, and they'll let you know if anything comes in. And I also want to talk a little bit about what this means for sellers. I primarily work with sellers most of the time, and so I hear what this means for them a lot. It means it's still a good time to sell, but only if you price with the market, not on top of the market. Buyers are very value focused, so staging, updates, and condition really matter. And overpricing will cost you more time and more money. Every time, if you list too high, it will take longer and you'll probably sell for less than I would have recommended. And in certain price bands, homes are still going under contract in less than 30 days. So depending on what price point you're in, this can drastically change. So if you're curious about your home specifically, just ask. And what this means for current homeowners is if you aren't selling, then this is the season to check your updated value, not because prices are falling, but because the market is re-ranking homes by features. So some examples of that are big lots and views are still holding value, and fixers are being priced like fixers again. Updated kitchens, roofs, HVAC have a bigger spread than ever. So just a little bit of my take. Yakima isn't crashing, it's normalizing, and honestly, that's healthy. The market we're in now really rewards strategy, not speed, and that's good news for everyone who really plays it smart. So if you want a customized market breakdown for your neighborhood or your home, or you want to talk strategy for buying or selling this winter, my info is below. Message me, even if you're just curious. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's been asking, what's the Yakima market doing? Again, this is Corie Burck, your local Yakima real estate strategist, and I'll see you in the next one.